when you're talking about Dr. Lakshmi, and when we talk about Dr. Lakshmi being an expert in all these things, let us just understand briefly about what her journey has been and what makes her an expert when she's talking about creating a platform for dentists, talking about more about being a social media inclusive dentist. So Dr. Lakshmi has finished her graduation from Mumbai, and she's been practicing over a decade right now. And currently, she's been working. She has actually has an experience of working in all over many places, like in Mumbai, in many states, wherein she's actually seen many kinds of practice and many kinds of patients. She has interacted with many kinds of patients herself, and right
Yeah.
now
So
she
I'll
actually.
just give you a brief about that.
Oh,
So
thank you so
like
much. Go
every
ahead. Yes,
other
tell me.
dentist,
Hmm.
my journey is, I don't think different. It's similar to them. Okay. So after my
Okay.
graduation, I joined Dr. Sameer sir's clinic. He was my
Okay.
first guru.
Awesome.
So
Hmm.
his clinic was a posh clinic in Kharghar in Mumbai. So
Okay.
there I learned about, the perfectionism, how to
Hmm.
communicate well, because there it was a 15-year-old practice, and the patients there were about upper class and upper middle class people.
Hmm.
So they were not price sensitive, but
Hmm.
they were sensitive about the kind of approach which we gave them.
Hmm.
So there I learned about how you should communicate well, how we can, we used to spend around 1 hour for every patient. We used to
Hmm.
make them understand what we are doing, why is it required, and all those things, gain their confidence. So I
Hmm.
learned a lot of things from there.
Hmm.
After that, I joined Dr. Samida ma'am's clinic, which
Hmm.
was a 25-year-old clinic. So
Hmm.
the footfall there was huge. We
Hmm.
used to get around 40 to 80 patients a day. So, in fact, I remember that one day we have reached around 100 patients also.
Oh
So,
God. Hmm.
the kind of practice was totally different there. Both the clinics had, it's a north and south pole kind of thing.
I
So,
understand. Yeah.
there
Hmm.
I learned about, that how to deliver the perfect treatments, and that too fast, because we used to get only 15 to 20 minutes with each patient. So, we used to
Okay.
deliver quality treatment but fast, and those
Hmm.
patients were little price sensitive because they were from the lower strata and the middle strata. So
Okay.
that's how we started interacting. I learned so many things from both the clinics,
Hmm.
and after that I got married. I shifted to Bangalore, and I
Hmm.
started my own practice here. I
Yes. Yes.
thought those things were enough for me to make a successful clinic by myself.
Hmm.
When I started practicing, in the starting few months, I got a lot of growth. It was an exponential journey. It was like we reached around the break even within 3 months, and
Okay.
we
That's good.
reached the
Hmm.
first goal also within 8 to 9 months.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
the journey after that was something which is worth discussing today, and which I think everybody
Surely.
is also
Surely.
facing,
Definitely.
because
Yes. Hmm.
after a few months, you also must have been practicing, right, doctor?
Sure. Sure.
So
Sure. We are practicing. Yes.
you
Hmm.
can relate to these kind of problems which
All of
all.
us dentists can relate to your journey. Yes.
Yeah, so after 8 to 9 months of my
Hmm.
practice, I came to a stage where I was having a growth, but not at the exponential rate. Like it was little stagnant.
Okay.
And
Okay. Hmm.
as I had the old school of thoughts at that time, that the dental camps and the word of mouth was enough. We should not use ads and all those things. I'm still against that. I'm not saying ads in the unethical way, but
Hmm.
online presence is a important thing nowadays. We
Definitely
can't
is. Hmm.
ignore that. I wasn't aware of those things. I was doing whatever. Whenever I get some idea, I'll do that and then leave it. I wasn't continuous in those efforts. I used to feel that okay, word of mouth is enough to gain that experience and make my clinic successful and all those things. So uh,
Great. Great. Great.
so at
Yeah.
that time,
Yeah.
yeah, tell me.
Sorry. Sorry. So, what happens is like to say about Dentapreneurs team. When you talk about Dentapreneurs team is about how you discover an opportunity, how we go about reskilling in that opportunity, or making yourself acquainted with the discovered skill, and going ahead and collaborating this thing and learning from someone else who is an expert in that. So that is the kind of a thing that Dentapreneurs stands from. And we have picked Dr. Lakshmi today because we have related to the journey. We have the theme that we have today as discovering, reskilling, and collaborating. The same journey is what Dr. Lakshmi has taken. So my questions next with to Dr. Lakshmi would be on the same lines.
Yeah.
First of all, I would want to know, how did you discover that this was the necessity for every dentist going forward? What you're teaching right now, how did you discover this thing in your journey?
Okay, so I'll tell you. So when I started facing those problems which I just described, that
Mhm.
the growth rate was okay, I was having a stagnant growth. I was not having an exponential growth. That time I started searching online and started reading so many things. I found there are two ways by which we can upscale. That
Okay.
one was the practice management training programs which were available, and
Okay.
the other thing was the digital marketing media which was available.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with both which I faced was the practice management trainings which were there that were very costly at that time for me. So after investing so much money in your venture, so
Mm-hmm.
starting the clinic and then the infrastructure, everything, and then again spending the X amount, big huge amount, was something which, until I have some guarantee or some reason to believe that okay, this will work 100%, I won't go into it. So I think it's difficult for us to convince ourselves that we should take up that. That was one difficulty. And the other was in the digital marketing medium. There were so many technology sector people who used to
Mm-hmm.
approach our clinic. Everybody must have experienced that thing. They'll come to our clinic, they'll say we'll do the website designing, SEOs in this much amount, X amount, 10,000, 20,000, etc. The problem was, what we are expecting and what they are providing was never on the same page, because
Okay. Mm-hmm.
we never understood the technology. We have, I think, for 15 years I have left the technology sector far behind. I
I
knew
understand. Yes.
technology by only the Facebook and YouTube little bit, that's it, nothing else. So learning
Mm-hmm.
the SEOs and all, I it was a bouncer for me at that time. I didn't understand.
A lot of our dentists also, I guess. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in
Mm-hmm.
fact, I tried one digital marketing firm, but what they delivered, I wasn't happy with. And what I
Mm-hmm.
was asking them to deliver, they were not okay with delivering that. So
Okay.
there was a
Mm-hmm.
lot of issues. So I personally, gone through that phase where I tried a lot of things and didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
That's the time when I started collaboration. I started consulting Mr. Sham. So Mr.
Okay.
Sham is the co-founder of LDFS. We both
Mm-hmm.
together have started it.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, he was doing the business consultations also, because he
Mm-hmm.
has a 12 years experience in technology sector, and
Mm-hmm.
he has done IM MBA from IM Ahmedabad. So he had a background where he can understand the business and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he was my brother also. So I, took his help, and he when he started consulting my clinic, I understood a lot of things that are
Mm-hmm.
there which we ideally should know when we are doing the in college or something. There should be a subject for that, because
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
eventually every dentist opens a clinic. That's the
Mm-hmm.
ultimate aim for every dentist.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we, even if we say that we don't agree totally, we have a myth that dentists can't make money, or the doctor's profession is such that we should not think of a clinic as a business and all those things. But now the era have changed, because
Yeah.
if we think like that, we will not be able to sustain in this world. And
True.
if
True.
we are
True.
not able to survive, the patient are also at loss, because they are not getting the best dentist from the, or the best treatment from the best dentist.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes. Mm.
it's a win-win situation for patients also, for us also.
Mm.
So that's how, when he came and he started consulting my clinic, he shared a lot of things which I never knew, like the finance part of a clinic, which I
Mm.
always heard, okay, this is revenue, this is expense, what is left, that is
Mm.
profit.
Mm.
End of story. I never
Mm.
used to think much about it. But
Mm.
when he came, he made me understand that which is my revenue generating treatment,
Yeah.
which is the my, what is my ideal target population, who are my patients. So
Mm.
those all things matters when we are doing the marketing or online presence of my clinic. That
Awesome.
was never known to me. Those things were totally alien to me. When he
Mm.
first introduced those things, he discussed about what are my goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals,
Mm.
and how I can build a patient relation better, how
Mm.
I can help my staff better so that they perform, and there's a system in my clinic. So those were the things when we started discussing. And the first time when I believed those things was when I saw the results. So when we applied around 50 to 60 things we have tried. And out of that, 5 to 10 things definitely didn't work out. But the 50 to 55 which we tried gave me a revenue of, it like my 70 to 80% revenue was increased. So that was a huge thing for me. And after that also, I reached a point where my revenue was same, but I was working only once a week. So full whole month, I can work only 4 days a week, and my assistants will be working the other days, and I was generating the same amount of money. So that is something which, opened my eyes, and I thought, okay, this is something mind blowing. This every dentist should know, and every dentist deserves after that so much hard work they are putting after, in college also we study a lot, we do so many things. After that, we work under somebody for so many years. So we deserve to know those ideas which will help us create a successful clinic. So that is the motto of LDFS, that we want to reach those people who needs or who wants to make their clinic successful. And it is quite possible because I have personally known, I've personally gone through it, I've personally applied it in my clinic. So I know that, okay, I have proof of it. So I know it is going to work. So that's the thing. That's how we founded the LDFS.
That's a really great story. That's a really great journey that you had. And I'm sure that every person who's listening to us and who's going to listen to us going forward also, would actually relate to the story that you've gone through and actually take note of what your journey has taught you.